Welcome. January 27th, Tuesday. Booyah. What's up? Yo, yo, yo. We have a bunch of contracts. 322 at 2610, 100 at 2630, and 236 and 121 at 2620. So we had a bunch of buyers on that pop up to the highs, and somebody positioned with the short just below that as we started to fade. We got a 700 lot spoofer at 7,005 on ES. Looks like the spoofer's in action, so we'll leave ES up right now. Yo. Got some coffee at the ready. Yeah. Gamma Crush. Okay.
Who's next? Soldier. Play your rock.
Retesting the 322 lot. We hit a volume imbalance that was created on the way down.
Thumbs up, soldier. Come on. Showtime. Ready. Fight. Gamma charge.
We got 20 minutes to open. The spoofer left, by the way. But
soldier. Freedom prevails. Thumbs up, soldier. Let's rock. Ready. Fight.
Yo. I was saying just a moment ago we had like a bunch of orders up in this region. We had about 300 in buyers, and then just below that, as we started to come down, a seller, 322 seller at 26.10. How you doing? The spoofer's back. Got a 900 lot on ES. Spoofing above price at... What is that? 69.97. Just above the price action right now. Do we have the same spoofing action on NQ? Only a 200 lot. 200 lot at 26.12. Yo. How's it going? A human being. Sounds good.
Continue. Choose your alter ego. Soldier. Come on. Come and get me. Ready. Fight! Gene Splice! Optic blast! Optic blast! Optic blast!
Yo. Oh yeah. What? They had cars back then? Dun dun dun.
Continue. Choose your alter ego.
Yeah. And elope with your organs. Nice. That one I sent you or a different one?
Let's go, bub. Ready.
Or the one you were... There was like this wave... What do you call it? Like if I was going to get back into wave sculpting like I did with the Access Virus, there's this one that I was interested in. I don't know if I sent it to you. I'll look it up after I'm done trading, but... That one guy I shared from like South Africa who like does that live musician stuff, he uses it. Nice. That's always fun.
Let's go, bub. Ready. Fight! Tornado claw. Tornado claw. Tornado claw. Tornado claw. Berserker barrage. Real claw. Tornado claw. Tornado claw. Tornado claw. Tornado claw. Tornado claw. Tornado claw. Berserker barrage. Danger! Let's go. Barrage X! KO! Wolverine!
I just learned to like not give back because that personally, like if I give back, I get like triggered to trade more. And then you take less quality trades. So I just take like a single low hanging fruit a day and then not try to aim beyond my means, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm still, you know, it's always a trade away. Like you never got, as soon as you think you got it figured out, the market will humble your ass. So it's like, I don't like to say I got anything figured out because I don't. I just know certain cases and scenarios where I feel a certain way. So I try to avoid those situations. And that's generally, yeah. I think you can get something from it in Q, but like you said, like if you're aiming with minis and you don't have real precise entries, you can get punished real quick. Yeah. They also like, what do you call it? Like you said, there's less contracts, so there's more ability to swing in irrational ways, like a wild bull. You know, it can just thrash both directions more so than ES because there's less wiggle room on ES because of all the contracts. And you can see that in the order book and stuff. So you can see NQ's only like 20 deep where ES is like 50 on average. And then you get 100 lots thrown around all the time on ES. So it's like they have a lot more like congestion on ES. I often use ES to telegraph the move. Like I'm seeing this like spoofer above price action on ES, but not on NQ, and then that's what's suppressing the price right now. And then they get decoupled at times, and you see ES go up while NQ goes down, and NQ goes up while ES goes down. Like when that happens, like there's generally like a fair move on the horizon in a direction. Right. I'm just looking at these pre-market large lots, like the 300 lot buyer at 2620 that we hit on the first push up in London, and their partner in crime just before New York opened at 2630, 100 lot, and then we had a 300 lot seller at 2610. So you could get some seller punishment above 2610, but as of this moment, the sellers testing their strength at the moment. But the spoofers want lower price action as of this moment. But that might be to get another fill for a push up. We will see in 2 minutes or less than. But yeah, being in Japan 20 years is kind of weird. It's like you're not American quite anymore, but you're never going to be Japanese. Even if you have like permanent residence, you're still never Japanese. And it's not like I'm bitter about that. It's just you won't ever be Japanese. It's not like being American where you can naturalize and it doesn't matter what you look like. Here it's like, no, it totally matters what you look like. They're great. Great. Open in 10 seconds. Here we go. The spoofer gone, disappeared. I took that little pop off of the grab of the sellers. $185 times 2. I'm out though. I flattened it. Yeah, we are retesting that 300 lot seller at 2610. We just hit a 300 lot buyer on that push up to 2610. Seems solid. Yes, also hit a bunch of. No, it's all good. This is a nice node. If we break it, it could be a nice drop. Yeah, we just kind of created a node and broke the volume point of control, and there's nothing holding us up in terms of volume. We could be going for those 1,000 tick volume imbalances down at 25,915 or so. Yeah, we recovered all 2K of the positive delta. We're now tapping into the seller aggression now. Yeah, this seems pretty solid. Like I said, this is a solid one. If I didn't already have taken a trade, I would have been there with you. Cha-ching. There's also a settlement down at 848.50. We could go retest that. Juicy. That was a pretty nice like elevator drop. Damn. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. The volumes imbalance levels strike again. That was nice. Damn. Right. Oh, yeah. and the identity politics and that whole like illogical shit. Well, I think the legacy media is a lot to blame because their lines of questioning and their way of like willful omission of facts and like the way they frame things from a perspective of like instigating stuff, like they get the willfully ignorant who just read headlines to get incited into bullshit by like omitting truth. Well, it was starting to get that way with the we are the 99% and the whole like movement on Wall Street in 2008, and then that's when it all shifted to the identity politics and the infighting to get us to focus on the wrong target. And you have that insider info to get those trades. Yeah, it becomes like a brand where they're like selling a corporation of their brand image, you know, like the Team Pelosi, Speaker of the House, you know. I remember I gotten into it with a friend because he didn't think she was corrupt, like she made it fairly. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you and your conservative trader friends, you're in your echo chambers and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, there's literally things that, you know, mirror her trades and like it's unparalleled. Like, yeah, he's that guy I had to excommunicate for being literally insane in the membrane. We just had a 300 lot, a 286 and 100 lot seller enter at 2634. Somebody peeled off a muddy, right? Yeah, take care, man. Yep. The sellers get taken to the market to squeeze. But yeah, it's like, you know, and then like the thing is I can say where like people like I'm not on any team. Like I just think when people do things that make sense, I say it makes sense, and when it doesn't make sense, I say it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't matter if it's a Republican or Democrat. It just so happens the Democrats don't make sense a lot recently, you know. But there was a time like there's a whole like spew of footage of Democrats saying the exact same things Trump's saying about immigration policy and everything. So why does it make it wrong because he said it, you know? It doesn't. It's because people are like, you know, indoctrinated with TDS to just vehemently disagree with anything he says when it even, you know, yeah, does the way he say it sometimes be uncouth and politically incorrect perhaps? Yeah. But that doesn't make it wrong. Like, if you came to the country illegally, you need to get the fuck out of any country, whether it's Japan or America. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter your ethnicity. Like, you could be black, white, whatever under the sun, whatever melanin you want to talk about or ideology or whatever. But if you broke the rules, you get the fuck out. Period. Yeah, it's it's not that difficult. And then it's like I remember getting into arguments where that guy would try to yell at me, and I'm like, dude, you live in the most law-abiding country on earth, and you don't realize how hypocritical that is. It's like we can let our daughters walk to school without getting raped or have any type of problem on the horizon whatsoever because of that. You can leave your wallet on the train in the bathroom at the train station and get a near 100% chance of it coming back to you with all the contents inside. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like, that's because they have ethics and rules that people follow. And they literally teach ethics in school. Right. That's like apples and oranges, and that's like, trying to like, you know, straw man the whole argument. And it's like, no, it's like, just because I don't want people to break the rules doesn't, if it's just so happens that there's a conglomerate of people that happen to be a certain ethnicity or ideology that are doing that, doesn't mean I don't like those people. I don't like people who break the rules, you know? It's like, and it's like, if you want to get into like the disparity of the haves versus the have-nots and how unfair the world is and how poor the rest of the world is, that's a different discussion. But like breaking the rules to bring them here doesn't, to get your point to be, you know, justified, is not right, because you have to go through legal channels to do that. And that's kind of what the Democrats have been doing, is going around those legal channels. And then they're like, well, then we got to use all the proper legal channels to get them out. And it's like, you don't get to obfuscate one way and then ask for it to be followed the other. That it's like they try to bury action in red tape. I'm just glad I'm in America, because I would not want to be in the States with this type of, oh wow, we just had a bunch of lots enter and get absorbed, and news hit, I guess. It's getting really jittery. There's just certain algorithmic notes, and then like people who don't like Trump immediately revert back to other stuff, and I could be like, well, yeah, I think that's stupid that he does, but it's like, that doesn't make everything he does null and void. Just because he took an action doesn't make all of his actions wrong. A broken clock can still be right twice. Like, it doesn't matter whether you disagree. You just can't disagree with him all the time. Like, I definitely don't like the whole Epstein thing and his stance on that. I'm like, that's weird. And I don't think how you could defend that, you know, not releasing stuff and not caring about releasing stuff. That's weird. We just go into the moon. What the market likes to do, just hyperinflate. Like a Macy's Day Parade balloon. This is the 5th day out of 8. Just logging them days. It's boring, but that's what, a consistent track record would be. It would be boring. Just make a low hanging fruit, and that's it. That volume imbalance was a very clean touch and go, and then you had that pre-market or that market sell-off. That was a nice little telegraph, that retest of that inflection point. Like, if I didn't already take the bounce off the first bounce up, I would have been in on that one. If I wasn't on that short, I might have taken that long. There was some clean reads today. You got mighty quiet in here. Yeah, like comma bounce, that whole thing with the what Europe is doing with their infinite migrants, you know, it's like, what's that about? And then people don't seem to want it, but the politicians are kind of working in the best in the not in the best interest of their citizens. That's kind of like treacherous. And then nobody can speak out about it, or you're like, you get like a visit from somebody monitoring your posts online and stuff. It's weird. Don't get it. I don't get how you can be like, how the word Islamophobic can even be a thing, because um it's an ideology. How can you be afraid of an ideology? You know, there's no Christian phobes, or, you know, if it's not an ethnicity, it's a belief system. There was like this Japanese uh lady who was interviewed at the World Economic Forum recently, and then they were asked about importing foreign workers or something, and then she's like, well, we don't, you know, we want people that would assimilate. You know, it doesn't, and she was pointing out how it doesn't really work, and the way Europe is doing it, they're not importing people who assimilate. And even like when Poland or whatever other countries did with their colonies, where they brought people in who could speak the language, they even had issues. So it's like, it's not as easy as it looks to just import people that are in need. You know, there has to be somebody who can assimilate with the culture. I'm a firm believer of that in Japan. Like, Japan's making it harder to naturalize here. I already have a permanent visa, but they're making the application fee more expensive, and they're considering making like a language proficiency test and everything. And I'm like, I'm all for it. Like, if you came here for the long haul, you should be able to speak the language, and I can. I have like a JLOPT1 level, like the highest you can have. And it was through hard work. It wasn't like I randomly downloaded it like the Matrix. You know, I had to study. And why should I be given the same, you know, why should another foreigner who just got here be given the same opportunity so easily? Like, I had to do nonprofit, teach orphans for free, and it's not like I had to. I had to prove myself that I was a benefit to society. You know, like, it wasn't like something that just like you automatically get. It's really the what do you call it? That um you know, it's the European Union and all of those non-government entities that make decisions for countries with sweeping regulations and stuff without consideration of the minutia of details between each country and the currencies there, and then they debase that currency for the sake of the union. And that's what causes a lot of this friction. It's like these people that think they have like these absolute solutions to everything, albeit, you know, whether it's like regarding the weather or climate change or immigration, they just think, oh, you need X amount of percent of carbon emissions or X amount of percent of immigrant workers. Like they just, you know, at their Davos meeting, they all like, have these like circle jerks about their plans for the future for the world. Nice. Nice. All right. Have a good one. Yep. Yeah, likewise. Catch you laters. I'll be off in the next 5 minutes if anyone needs anything. Boom, boom, boom. Mm-mm-mm. Bunch of sellers selling off the 2670 region. Looks like there's more resting orders up to the 2687s, but somebody's peeling off a mighty order here first. Surprisingly, we're getting break even on the session for delta, so all the negative delta is getting absorbed every time it pulls back. Like it pulls back 400 and 300 and then immediately comes back on that with the bang. So every batch of sellers is getting punished. We had like a 400 lot at 2634 and then it promptly went up on those guys. It retested and then got 400 sellers more and then went up against those guys. So if it goes above 2671, you could get a free low hanging fruit to the upside, contingent of coming back on 2671. And the entire session delta is at break even. So it generates some buy side, then goes back, gets some sell side, and then punishes the sellers further than they did. So the buyer's in control. Let's see if it does it in the next 3 minutes. Either way. Mm-mm. This Friday, let's do something for February. We got like, we can do some giveaway for Apex on, since they don't have a sale going on. So Friday, let's try to show up for some of the live stream stuff. Pulling back on 600 in sell side. Once again, if it comes above 2671, you could get a resting order pop up to the 80s for low hanging fruit. Got some more resting orders on the way up there. ES has a 350 lot at 7,010. And on that note, gentlemen, we will bid you adieu. So we will see you tomorrow. Stay frugal, stay blessed, and stay positive, and we'll catch you tomorrow.